Alright guys, HyDra again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. With the World Cup just around the corner, Dashy was giving his thoughts on his incredible scrim map the other day, the 50 bomb that he dropped against the Subliners on that Vista hardpoint in practice, but also talking about a VOD that he was trying to find of Scump absolutely frying just before the end of his career back at Modern Warfare 2. He then found though actually that Rambo had only recorded the minimap and therefore we cannot see this legendary moment. The beef continues. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Will one of these four teams that of course all won events this season win the World Cup as well, or is it going to be somebody else? Could a surprise team, a Los Angeles Thieves, even potentially a Seattle Surge, as we'll discuss over the coming minutes, come through to take the crown? Just quickly to mention here, as Zinni says, I need something competitive back into my life right about now. And as Doug says, retired league, are we doing it, Hitch? What's going on? Because Hitch kind of talked about this and put up a list of players that he wants to invite or at least have involved in his retirement league, and turns out apparently it's potentially coming soon, so stay tuned for that exciting prospect. This I thought was kind of wild as well. A few of you guys pointed this out to me of Fortnite. So this is the World Cup of course for Fortnite, which is going on pretty much right now, and they've just copied Hardpoint. Now there's no like, you know, patent on it, is there, or like copyright on the way that Hardpoint works, but I thought it was very interesting to see because Fortnite, or just battle royales in general, do struggle for viewership perspective. Apex is the best, I think, at making it work, but watching Fortnite Battle Royale competitively is just a joke, really. Everyone hides in their little boxes, and, you know, basically the zone closes in, and then it's just a battle of luck, really, to see who actually wins or not, because everyone's just trying to survive as long as possible. It's never been great to watch. So instead, it looks like they're doing stuff like this, where they're playing Hardpoint, they're playing Capture the Flag, they're playing basically like Oddball, right, from Halo as it were. So, you know, kind of incredible stuff. I don't know, you know, what the future holds for that, or whether, you know, COD can copy something from Fortnite. Probably not. The final players of the top 20 of the season as well. This is very controversial, and it's good that it's controversial because in the last few years it's been, I wouldn't say like clear cut. There's always been a debate as to who was the best player of the year, but it's been, you know, relatively clear between maybe a couple of players on one team or whatever. This season though, I've been reading some of the replies to this, and everyone seems very split. If you look at the replies to the Scrappy one, or to the HyDra one, or to the Simp one, you've got people saying, oh, he should have been number 1, he should have been number 4 behind Shotzzy or whatever. And the same is true here for HyDra. Many are saying this guy was absolutely undisputedly the best player of the year, and I think there's a way to potentially argue that. I didn't, you know, quite see it personally, just because he didn't start the year as well, which I know is kind of like he had an 86 overall or whatever, and he got very good and even better very quickly. And I mean, have a look at this, by the way, excluding stage 1. I know I mentioned some of the purple numbers yesterday for Scrappy, but this is ridiculous. Number 1 kills per 10 in hardpoint and damage per 10 in hardpoint in his role as an SMG in the entire league. Every stage, 2, 3, 4, and the World Championship. Like, that is just bonkers, to be honest. And it's not like his search was bad either. There were a couple of stages he was purple there, and even in control it was true as well. So, you know, HyDra again was phenomenal this year. Was overall the entire season he better than Simp? I think I had him just slightly behind, but obviously it's definitely up for debate, obviously. This does also not include, and we did this voting, the World Championship. It was from the regular season. So, you know, you can argue that given that HyDra came second at Champs and Simp came top 6, there's an argument to be made for that. But to me, I think Simp was just about the best and the most consistent player of the season. His cards looked like this. And even at the World Championship, where he didn't have his best kind of results and performance, I still think he was definitely holding his own and was FaZe's best player this year by, I think, quite some margin, to be honest. So, yeah, you can debate it. Scrap could have been number 1. HyDra could have been number 1. Simp could have been number 1. You can maybe even make the argument for Shotzzy, given that he won the World Championship and was OpTic's best player this year, but very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. The other thing before we get into some of this OpTic stuff is iLLeY, who, of course, has experienced it from both sides. He was on OpTic when Rambo was there for some period, and then, of course, this year he joined Seattle Surge, Surge, where Rambo then went to go coach instead. So, you know, what's going on with iLLeY? Is he going to make a return? What does that relationship look like? We saw that he made that Instagram post the other day, kind of announcing his return. He puts the hourglass emoji right there to say, hey, you know, I'm coming back. It's only a matter of time. Stay tuned. And then yesterday, iLLeY comes out with this tweet. So thanks to a couple of guys for pointing this out to me, because it got deleted relatively quickly. But he said, first ranked game I play, I run into a hacker. You know, this is just super chalked. So he's back, right? Back on ranked is kind of the theory. Not even the theory, straight up says it, that I'm back. So clearly hasn't been playing the game in some time, but clearly feels ready again to get ready to go for the new season. And we'll see where iLLeY ends up going, because despite all the drama of last season, what happens, you know, the interview related stuff, I'm not going to get into it again, and the nicknames that were going around for iLLeY as a result of it, and the decision from Surge to bench him, to release him without really saying exactly what was going on. We could all, of course, read between the lines. But the theory goes, of course, if iLLeY's now well and he's much better than he was previously, he still has enough goodwill, I think, in the community, certainly on the players' angle, to get him back into the league. In addition to the fact that he was actually really good at last year's title, in addition to the fact that he was actually really good at the game this year when he did play it earlier on in the season. So, you know, moving on from iLLeY, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes, because realistically, there will be teams that are looking at iLLeY. In his ideal world, he's probably looking at a team like Thieves, possibly, because they might make a change for the role alongside Ghosty. Who knows what's going to happen with this whole formal thing. So really, he's a man to consider there. I mean, I don't think FaZe would do it, but it's maybe not completely out of the realms of possibility if they really need somebody else on their roster. And then apart from that, for iLLeY, it's then the teams further down the pecking order, and it would be, you know, difficult for iLLeY to go from winning a world championship on Dallas Empire, then through the OpTic saga, then to Surge, then down to, you know, like Vegas. Hopefully that doesn't happen for him, but genuinely, who knows what the future holds at this point. But speaking of the Dashy stuff, he was talking a lot over the last couple of days, certainly last night on stream, doing a bit of VOD review over the last couple of years. And it's really cool to see some of this behind the scenes stuff that obviously gets saved up and recorded and you never usually get to see until after the fact. So these were, of course, later in the season when Rambo was long gone from the team after all the drama that happened at the start of last year. Dashy then, well, leaked some of these MW2 scrims. This is when they picked up Ghosty, and, you know, they're playing here against the Vegas team as it was at the time, Prolute, Clay, Temp and TJ. Wow, what a timeline. And, you know, when they first picked up Ghosty, what he was doing for the team, this, of course, the Shotzzy, Hook, Dashy and Ghosty team, which is pretty legendary stuff. And he goes through a few of the, you know, good games they played here during Modern Warfare 2, kind of realizing, all right, Ghosty is going to be the man to take us to that next level. He also went through and played a bit of, I know this is a little bit choppy right here, but still you kind of get the picture on his 50 kill game that he had the other day. Okay, it was against Boston, wasn't it? And, you know, here he is, 25 in 9, was absolutely frying. So it's cool to watch this from his point of view, really, because, you know, straight up says, best scrim map that I've ever had. So I wanted to share a couple of little bits from this, but also what he had to say on this VOD of Scump, right? So obviously during the start of the Modern Warfare 2 season, Scump had decided that he was going to run it back. He wasn't going to blow up the team. They were going to blow up the team. The feeling was that it was going to be Scump, Shotzzy, HyDra and Cammy. That was the rumored team of 4. But in the end, they decided to run it back going into Modern Warfare 2. Proved to be a mistake, really, in hindsight. But, you know, in the end, everything's kind of worked out in their favor. At the time, it was a mistake. But obviously, as things have now gone, the fact that, you know, otherwise Dashy would not have been there anymore, right? And of course, now he's a world champion on that team from the last couple of weeks. So who really knows what could have happened if Scump didn't make the decision that he did, or the team didn't make the decision that he did. But regardless, Scump was playing at that point in the season. He then decided to call it a day. He'd announced that he was going to retire at the end of the year. That was already confirmed. But then he obviously said, all right, you know what, I'm going to have to do it earlier because it's just too much chaos right now. So then OpTic decided, all right, Dashy needs to come back, and we've got to make a decision really between either bringing Dashy back, as there was no real other option, or getting rid of Rambo, because one of the two had to happen. Dashy didn't get along with Rambo. That was well documented at the time after he got dropped and all the drama that happened as a result. And even to this present day, we're still seeing some of the repercussions from it, with Dashy talking about how this VOD that Scump was frying in against, I think it was Boston or whatever, right back at the start of Modern Warfare 2, was unfortunately not even available anymore, because the only thing that was recorded was the minimap.
When was the first event? December? It was December. Texas versus Boston. Probably fried us like usual. Okay, this is a mini-map VOD, I'm not gonna lie. Seth fried in this, but we can't see this one. I can't lie. Vista 50, you guys want to see the Vista one? Okay, we'll watch the Vista one, dude, just because it was already exposed in. Okay, we'll watch the Vista one. Yeah, I don't know, guys, I'm not gonna lie, like, there's no VOD of Seth, if he was frying, we could see it on the minimap, but I'm swear to God, I'm not trying to be funny, I swear to God, there's literally no POV.
So if you guys never heard about this, I just wanted to break it down real quick. This is that classic post that DocV put on the Reddit when this stuff was happening. I'm not going to go through everything again. This was the bit on the minimap, though, where he says, Dashy says sometimes they even play scrims and he will hear Ray mid-scrim forgetting to unmute his mic and talking to his dog. I mean, man, this was a wild time in COD history, which means he is sometimes not even watching their scrims. He also says Ray only records the minimap, and they are the only team in the league that doesn't record the POVs. They only do minimaps when the POV includes the minimaps too. And the POV, you can see a lot of things like dodging nades or etc, etc. And basically he felt like this is Ray stamping his authority for no reason. There was a feeling that Rambo felt that literally recording only the minimap of the VOD was the way to go. And I do wonder whether this is like still considered to be the case of Rambo, right? There was also talk, let's not forget, back in Cold War when Crimsic said, if you look at the minimap, it speaks for itself, which may have been part of why they dropped Hook effectively, which may have been part and parcel of the phenomenon that Rambo, who was coaching that team at the time, was having the boys only watch minimap when they did their VOD review. You know, to me, that doesn't make much sense. I feel like there's enough kind of additional information to be gained from, you know, other perspectives to only watch the minimap. But whatever, that was Rambo's modus operandi. And as a result, we see Dashy now, even to the present day, saying, damn, I mean, like, look, we could have watched this great scump POV of a phenomenal scrim set, but unfortunately we can't because only the minimap was actually recorded. So pretty entertaining stuff, I guess, for good and for bad. And I do wonder, like, what's the case today? Because to be fair to Seattle, Surge and to Rambo, despite the fact that the team at the start of the season was so questionable, I mean, this whole RCT's iLLeY AR duo thing, I never thought it was the way to go. aBeZy on the SMG, I mean, come on, are we serious? You know, you got to think that at least part of that was Rambo's decision making. But to give him credit, as the season went on, they made the changes. iLLeY, of course, was kind of forced out for his own doing, I guess, or whatever. We don't really know the full story still. RCT's was then dropped. aBeZy was put to the main. Then, of course, Hook was still there. They brought in aBeZy to help the team and also make aBeZy more comfortable. And then 04 was a great pickup as well. And towards the end of the year, they came top 8 at Champs. That is disappointing for them. But there is a general feeling that they actually played better than that placing suggests. And they might be able to do some damage at the World Cup as well. So there is an argument that Rambo's coaching style has either made some strides or definitely that I think he deserves at least some credit for the way that Surge performs this year. Whether he's moved away from the minimap only VODs, I guess we'll never really know. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
Yo, oh, yeah, the Red Bull. Yo, chat, listen. Alright, I should be able to see straight now. We're good.